Is there a flower more romantic than a rose? The tenderness of its delicate petals covered in a morning dew, like whispered poetry.
Hi, my name is Iga. You're watching Pixie and Notes, and today we're going to talk about roses. But if you expect a typical rose list with a floral, dainty, fresh roses such as Chloe or Stella by Stella McCartney, you will be disappointed because we are going to talk dark. We are going to talk mysterious. We are going to talk sexy. So the roses I prefer are always more like a rosewood than floral roses, and I like them spicy, I like them dark, I like them paired with leather. So if you like this type of scents, then keep on watching. My first scent, my absolutely number one rose fragrance is Santal by Guerlain. And this is a gorgeous mix of fruity and incensey and woodsy notes. I like to call it as a cheerful neurotic. And I think it represents the character of the fragrance pretty well. Fruity rose with oud and incense and leather. Very edgy, very dark, but carrying a little bit of brightness. This leads me to another fragrance which is kind of similar, and when compared hand to hand they bear quite a few similarities, namely Rose and Dragon by Carner, Barcelona. Here we have almost the same story, but Rose is supported by beautiful wild strawberry, and it's almost like this powdered, lyophilized strawberry, which is very tart and has this powdered texture. And here we also have a drop of honey. So we have darkness, we have sweetness, and we have fruity tartness, and the whole thing is very, very bright but edgy and mysterious. Both I find pretty sexy, and I like wearing them with black clothes, with red accessories, and they make me feel really confident and sexy. So yeah, these are my two favorite ones. Third suggestion and third on my list will be Club de Nuit Intense for women, and this is known as a dupe for Tom Ford's Noir de Noir, and rightly so. These two compared, they are very similar. And as we know, Tom Ford has pretty crazy prices, and this one is like a budget version of Noir de Noir. Beautiful, dark, sensual rose, very fleshy, very full-bodied, combined with patchouli, give the effect of dark, rich chocolate, but without veering into a category of edible. Again, this fragrance I only wear with black clothes. Very sexy and seductive. Next category of rose is a delicious rose. The most delicious rose I know and own is Roses Vanille by Mancera. And this has a counterpart in Montal, and this is called Intense Cafe. They are pretty similar, although I do prefer Rose's Vanille because this is more dense and more voluptuous. This is basically a combination of a jammy rose sprinkled with vanilla sugar. It's quite sweet. It has a lot of quite a bit of coziness about it, but with slightly sexy vibe. I can picture wearing it for a special event and wearing a nice, sexy red dress. And this, very feminine. This is quite a feminine rose. I would struggle imagining it on a guy. Another one from this gourmandy category is Bouquet from Maison Lancome, and I think this has its cheaper counterpart by Swiss Arabian called Shagaf Oud. And I must say they are pretty similar, so if you are looking for a more budget and wallet-friendly version of this one, you can check this one out. Here, rose is paired with oud, which is pretty sharp and piercing, and a delicious vanilla and praline. So it's very sweet, very gourmandy. So if you don't like sweet fragrances, this might not be for you. This is like a special event, dress to kill fragrance, stilettos, a sexy dress. It's pretty loud, so sometimes I struggle with wearing it because it can be too much, even one spray. So you have to be very cautious with it, but it's beautiful. Another one which is absolutely royal is Mon Homme Rouge by Majda Bekkali. Here you have rose with incense and with spices, with tonka bean. And the person, if I was to represent this fragrance as a person, that would be Monica Bellucci. She has this very poised, sophisticated, voluptuous maturity that is at the same very spiritual and carnal. It's like sacrum and profanum. So you have this very inviting, sexy vibe, but at the same time it's a little bit cold and reserved. It's extremely sensual. But again, as in the case of Eau de Bouquet, this has to be applied with caution. It's very, very strong. One spray is more than enough and it will last you all day. If Mon Homme Rouge is a little bit too much for you, she has a younger sister, and this is Hippie Rose by Heeley. Here we have rose with incense and patchouli, oak moss and green notes. And this is not like a full-bodied bold rose. It's more like a holographic rosewood veiled by this warm incense smoke and sweet spiciness. This fragrance is like a pink mist around you. It hovers above your skin and it's never too much. And what I like about it is that it combines this warmth and coolness. So you have this you have this juxtaposition, which is very interesting and intriguing without being overwhelming. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Another suggestion is also not for the faint of heart. This is a fragrance for a sexy witch. It's intoxicating and dangerous. And I'm talking about Memoir Woman by Amouage. Here you have a rose with a drop of absinthe, and it's very, very complex, very opulent. It's like a symphony. This fragrance I would compare to a very dense, thick red wine that is quite sweet and that can make you drunk and dizzy pretty easily. But with that, someone dropped one drop of this bitter absinthe in it. Again, with Memoir woman, you have to be careful. If you spray too much, this fragrance will wear you. And this is one of those roses you don't wear with sweatshirts. You have to dress up. You have to dress to kill. This is a great suggestion for going out for very special events. And the last two suggestions I like to refer to as roses undercover. Not very straightforward rose scents. The first one, although it has rose in the name, comes from l'Orchestre, and it's called Rose Trombone. I don't see the rose as a main note here. I don't recognize it. When you know there is rose, you can kind of see it, but I sniff it blindly and I only recognize some floral facets. I couldn't pinpoint to the rose as the main ingredient. Here, rose is combined with pear, and that makes it very fruity, with sandalwood, which makes it very creamy. So it's very smooth, it's very soothing. It's almost like a whipped cream with fruity tartness. It's delicious without being edible. And that leads us to the last scent I would like to mention, and that is Vanilla Flash from Andy Tauer. And although the name might suggest that this is mainly a vanilla scent, for me it's mainly a rose, tobacco, and spices. You of course get that vanilla sweetness, but basically it's more like a dark, almost cherry-like rose with quite a bit of spiciness. It's really, really nice, especially for a little bit colder weather. So I hope you enjoy my list. Let me know what your favorite rose fragrances are, and hope to see you in another video.